Khan Academy volume, subtopic, understanding decomposing figures to find volume. So which expression can be used to find the volume of the figure below? Okay, so again, it's really great here. They're showing you that we have this blue rectangular prism, and then right up next to it is the purple rectangular prism. So to find the volume here, we're going to have to find the volume of the blue, and then the volume of the purple, and then we're going to have to add those two volumes together. Now, right now, we're not getting to that point. We're just looking at, if I did need to solve this, what would I do? So the first thing I'm going to look at is the blue here. Okay, and it's nice down here they have the blue numbers in blue. So the volume of our blue figure. Okay, to do that, we're going to have to do volume equals length times width times height. So our length is 7, and then our width, that's where it gets a little bit tricky because they didn't label the width on the blue. Okay, so a lot of fifth graders like to say, oh, well, my volume is just going to be 7 times 2 because I'm used to just multiplying whatever numbers they give me. Okay, that's where it's so important to go back to the volume equals length times width times height. The length here is 7. The width, they didn't label it, but if we look closely, we can see that the width of the blue is the same as the width of the purple, and they did label the width of the purple, so that's 8. So to find our volume of our blue cube, we have to do 7 times 8 times the height, which is 2. So 7 times 8 times 2. So it's looking like A could be our answer. Okay, 7. Yep, it looks like A's got to be our answer because that's the only one that has 7 times 8 times 2. But let's double check our purple. Length is 1. Okay, the width, so how far back it goes, is 8. And how tall it is 6. So 1 times 8 times 6. So again, you can see how important it is that we recognize where the length, width, and height are on each of these shapes. Okay, we're going to kind of do the same thing. It says label the missing side length of the figure below. Click each dot on the image to select an answer. Okay, so for the first thing that we have to do here is this dot. Okay, we have to figure out how wide this green figure is. Okay, well, to figure out how wide it is, I'm going to notice that it's the same width. It goes back just the same amount as the purple one. The purple one is labeled as 10, so this dot here must also be 10. Okay, so that's going to help me to figure that out. Then it asks us to find the volume of the entire figure by adding the volumes of the separate figures. Well, they told us that the volume of the purple is 280, so we already know that much. So I need to find the volume of the green figure. The volume of the green figure is going to be volume equals length times the width times the height. And my length is 2. We just discovered that the width is 10. And then my height, how tall it is labeled right back here. That's 3. So make sure you're using the numbers that correlate with the green figure here. So 2 times 10 is 20, and then times 3 would be 60. So the volume of the green figure is 60. And then to know the volume of this all together, we're going to have to add 280 plus our 60. And when we add those together, we get 8 plus 6 is 14. And then my 1 plus my 2 is 3. So we get 340 is going to be my total volume. The figure below is made up of 2 rectangular prisms. Find the volume of the entire figure by adding the volumes of the separate figures. So again, we can see they gave us the volume of the purple figure, so we don't even have to do any work for that one, which is super nice. we need to just focus on the orange. Okay, and I love that they made these different colors so it's easy for us to see this. So again, I'm going to go straight back to my volume equals length times width times height. And this is where we got to be careful and not just pick 3 random numbers. We have to look at just that orange one, and we have to say, okay, the length is labeled right here, it's 1. Okay, then the width, how far back does that orange go? Well, it's not labeled anywhere. Okay, so we're going to use the help from our purple because our purple is the same depth. It's the same width as the orange. So we know that the orange has to be 10 meters as well for the width. And then my height is labeled right next to it. How tall it is 7. So 1 times 10 is 10, times 7 would be 70. And then to find the volume of the whole entire figure, I would have to do 120 plus 70, which is going to be 190. And which expression can be used to find the volume of the figure below? Okay, so again, we're just looking at the expression, and it looks like we need to actually find the volume of the green and find the volume of the orange. Okay, so I'm going to start with the green one first, and I'm going to do volume equals my length times my width times my height. And I'm looking at just the green figure here right now. My length is 2, my width is 6, and my height is 3. So 2 times 6 is 12, and then times that by 3 is going to be 36. So our green volume is 36. So right now it's looking like C is going to be our answer because the green is 36 is the only one there. But just to be safe, I'm still going to figure out my orange volume to make sure that this did work. Okay, otherwise it is possible that I may have made a mistake here, and so I just want to double check my work. So for the orange figure, I'm going to do volume again equals length times width. Ooh, baby, it's tricky. And times height. My goodness, it's getting tricky to write, I guess. So my volume, my length of my orange is 6. My width, this is where I really wanted to kind of test you. Okay, that width is not labeled. So we have to look at the green to figure out how far back that one goes. Okay, and it goes back 6. And then how tall is it? It's 10 tall. Okay, so 6 times 6 is 36. And then times 36 by 10 is going to give me 360, which is what we had right here. So C is our best option.